There's a couple of big name free agents in this year's free agency class. LeBron James is probably the biggest that you know of. But what if we go team by team? Who is the biggest free agent from every team going into this offseason? Let's talk about that. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new. We are starting off with the Philadelphia 76ers. Quentin Grimes, more specifically. I believe he's the biggest free agent for this Philadelphia 76ers going into the offseason. There's a couple of other guys who played big minutes that are heading to free agency for Philadelphia, i.e. Andre Drummond. Kelly Oubre, I believe, is also going, and potentially Dominic Barlow. I still chose Quentin Grimes, though. Why? Because when they traded Jared McCain at midseason, to me, it signified that they were moving on from Jared McCain and that they were making Quentin Grimes their bench scorer, their spark scorer off the bench that every team really has. Every competitive team has a bench scorer. Quentin Grimes is just that for the Philadelphia 76ers. I know his efficiency has been down from last season. He's shooting 33% from three, which is down from about the 40 he shot last year. But when he gets hot, Quentin Grimes can really get going and help carry their offense. The guy's still averaging 13.5 points per game. That's pretty damn solid. Quentin Grimes had a really weird career, but at the end of the day, he's still a really solid shot creator, and when he gets going, he can catch fire pretty damn quickly and start hitting a bunch of threes and become really troublesome for a defense. I like Quentin Grimes a lot. Like I said, the trade of Jared McCain at midseason basically told me that they're going to let Quentin Grimes be the bench scorer, and we're not letting anybody get in the way of that. I don't think they traded Jared McCain for table scraps, just so that way they can let Quentin Grimes walk not even 2 months after. For my Boston Celtics, I have Nikola Vucevic. I know Vooch has not been that good since joining the Boston Celtics, that's for damn sure, although he did put together an alright game against the Hornets last night, although he didn't shoot well. Vooch is sub 33% from three in Boston. That's not good at all, to be honest with you, and it's down from the 40% he was shooting in Chicago before the trade. I like the veteran presence Vooch brings, but I don't need it at $25 million, and I don't think any team is going to give him $20+ million going into this offseason. I think it's more likely he gets a smaller deal or a prove-it deal to kind of show that he can play the complementary role on a team. He's still a good player somewhere in there. It just hasn't really clicked in Boston. However, for the Celtics, nobody else is a free agent. Ron Harper Jr. an extension, so he's locked in, but every big name player you can think of on the Boston Celtics is already locked down for next year. Tatum, Brown, Hauser, White, Pritchard, Queta, keep going. The list goes. Every single one's locked down except for Vooch. For the New York Knicks, I have Mitchell Robinson, still the best, in my opinion, offensive rebounder in basketball, and I don't even think it's really close. I know he doesn't lead the league in offensive rebounds, but the guy plays sub 20 minutes per game and is second in offensive rebounding. That's how troublesome he is in the paint. The only issue, I've talked about this a million times, Mitchell Robinson shoots free throws like me with a blindfold and on one foot and in the rain, and I'm sick, you know? So Mitchell Robinson shoots free throws like a blind child. There's no way that he can make 2 out of 2. He's shooting, actually, I believe, a career low 40% from the free throw line, which is even harder to stomach. But he's still the best, like I said, offensive rebounder in basketball, and he's a good rim protector too. So Mitchell Robinson is the very clear pick here. For the Toronto Raptors, I have Sandro Mamukelashvili. He has a player option for next season, which I believe guarantees him like $2 million. I think he's going to turn that down in the hopes of getting a more long-term deal for more money than just $2 million because he's had an incredible season. He's averaging a career high in just about every stat you can imagine. Points, rebounds, assists, minutes per game. I mean, he's still shooting really well from three, I believe, over 38%. Mamu has a career high in just about every statistical category, and he's been really good playing a weird small ball 5 for them at times. Mamu's shown that he can play in the NBA. Like, this is a legit NBA player now. Everyone's seen it for a season. I don't think he's going to opt in for $2 million. I think he needs a little bit more long-term stability and maybe a little bit of a pay increase, a wage increase, if you will. You know, so Mamu's the free agent that I'm picking for Toronto. For the Brooklyn Nets, I have Ochai Agbaji. He's the only non-team option free agent on the team. So just about everyone who could be a big free agent for the Brooklyn Nets is on a team option. I don't think any of them will end up in free agency. So I chose Ochai Agbaji because I believe he will be in free agency. He's also one of the more handsome men in the NBA. I didn't say that. I didn't vote for that. It was literally like an article that was made, a polling thing that suggested Ochai Agbaji is one of the most handsome. Good for him. I didn't vote that, though. Just kind of got to put my hands up there. I did not do that. For the Detroit Pistons, Jalen Duren's a restricted free agent. I think they'll end up getting an extension done for him, considering he might make All-NBA this year. So my answer is Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris has been huge since Cade Cunningham's injury. He's had multiple 18, 19-point games. That's Tobias Harris' game right there, is 18, 19 points. But he's been efficient with it, which is something that he hasn't really done well this season. Toby's really rounded out into having a career normal season. Like, for a little while, his efficiency was down. down, his points were down, but you check again now and it's like, oh, he's right back to career norms. Toby's been a Mr. Consistent for a while. He can hit the corner three, he can hit the mid-range here and there. Good little shot creator for the Detroit Pistons. He's actually, in my opinion, like one of their three best pure scorers, like perimeter scorers. I mean, it's Cade, it's Danis, and probably Toby right there. Tobias Harris has been a big pickup for the Pistons ever since he landed there. And like I said, since Cade Cunningham's injury, he's really helped take the reins and help this team clinch the 1 seed like they already have. So shout out to Toby, but he's going to get a bag this offseason. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, this one's a little weird. James Harden has a player option for $42 million. I don't know whether he'll accept that or not. James Harden is an absolute wild card. He may go somewhere else. He may never have wanted to be in Cleveland to begin with. Nobody knows what James Harden's going to do. So I chose Keon Ellis because I believe he will be an unrestricted free agent. His scoring has gone up to almost 9 per game since joining the Cavs, and he's still shooting 37% from 3 and playing good perimeter defense. Keon Ellis does the dirty work. He's not a guy that really puts up numbers on the stat sheet. Like I said, a career high 9 a game. But again, he's a guy where he plays really good man defense. He's a tough guard on the perimeter, and he can knock down the 3 when he's open. This is a good role player. Like, I think a lot of teams would like to have a Keon Ellis. For the Milwaukee Bucks, I put Ousmane Dieng. I believe he has been a bright spot for them since joining them from the Thunder in the midseason trade, like an 11th hour trade that meant absolutely nothing for a while, and then it turned into Ousmane Dieng can hoop. He's averaging 11 points per game since the deadline. He's had some big games, like a game against Houston. He looked all right against the Celtics the other night. Ousmane has had some good enough games to really convince the front office that, like, hey, I deserve a second contract, I deserve a chance, and I think he's going to get that next year. Ousmane Dieng, little tip of the cap. OKC picked him, so that means that they saw something in him, which means typically good things. You know, if OKC picks you up and they see bright spot there, guess what? You're probably going to be good. The Bulls. This was weird. I said maybe a sign and trade to send Anthony Simons to another team like a competitor. There's not many key free agents that I think like they need to bring him back immediately. A couple of other options are like Zach Collins and Colin Sexton. Colin Sexton, Zach Collins, those aren't guys that I really think are going to make an impact on this Bulls team next year. I don't even know if they're going to be on the Bulls considering the Bulls are going youth movement. So like I said, I think their top priority should be a sign and trade to get Anthony Simons to a competitive team. I think a lot of teams would like to have an Anthony Simons, maybe in Orlando or something like that. He's a volume 3-point shooter that can get hot in an instant. Just don't think that he's a future Bull, right? He doesn't really fit the timeline that they're trying to go with. So I think a sign and trade for him would be their top priority. The Indiana Pacers, again, another weird one. I chose Quentin Jackson. I mean, Quentin Jackson is averaging a career high 9 points per game this season. He's shown he can get to the rim. The only thing he can't really do, shoot the 3 that well. He doesn't take a ton of them either. My thought for Quentin Jackson is like, give him 3-4 years, 3 years, 2-3 years actually. And he could be your TJ McConnell replacement maybe. Like I see a small guard that has the low to the ground dribble. He keeps his dribble alive. He never really picks up the ball. Quentin Jackson is a fun bench guard. I don't know if it's like real what he's doing or not. I don't know. This Pacers team has nothing to really play for down the stretch of this year. I don't know who's going to be good, who's not going to be good. I don't know. I chose Quentin Jackson, though. For the Atlanta Hawks, it's either CJ McCollum or, before I go broke like Jock Landale. I'm going to say CJ McCollum, though. He's just a more statistically impactful player. He's averaging about 19 a game since being traded. Of course, he was a part of the very well-known Trae Young deal. McCollum has really helped this Hawks team turn things around. Again, he's a decent like assist-to-turnover ratio guard. He doesn't turn the ball over a ton, and he can get you 7-8 assists in a night, and he can hit some tough shots and really get hot. He might be able to give you 30. CJ McCollum is a very interesting player. I think his streak is going to break this year, though, of averaging 20-plus for 10 years straight. I think that streak is going to die this year, but CJ McCollum has still been a really big piece to help the Hawks turn their season around and become the competitive team that we see now. McCollum was the veteran leadership that this Hawks team may have needed. I don't know. For the Charlotte Hornets, I chose Kobe White. He was their big acquisition at the deadline, and since the midseason mark, he's been really, really good for this young team. He's given them 16 points per game off the bench, and he's shooting about 38% from 3. Kobe White is what I like to call an insurance policy for the Charlotte Hornets. I think that they'll have the money to extend him. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Hornets fans, but I like to call him the insurance policy because LaMelo Ball, as we all know, has an injury history. And that's not a terrible thing. I'm not killing him for it. But what I am saying is that a guy who has injury history, you need to have a next man up that can really fill in. And Coby White could do just that in a pinch. My opinion with the Coby White thing is like they didn't trade for him at midseason just to be a rental and then let him walk. There's got to be something more here. There's got to be like an extension talk or something in the future. I don't know. I can't guarantee that. But what I do know is that I think the Charlotte Hornets have had a spectacular run to end this season. And Coby White has been a great addition to that. For the Orlando Magic, there's not many options. I chose Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner is a solid third big man. Of course, he's the brother of Franz, so they like to keep the brothers together. I don't blame them. It's pretty cool. Mo gives you energy, hustle. He's a little bit of a bully down in the post too. He's aggressive. He's not afraid to get throw some hands and get mixy with it. Throws elbows in the post. He's one of those big men that'll plant an elbow right into your ribs or something. I'm not a big Mo Wagner guy. I'll come right out and say it. I'm not a big Mo Wagner guy. I think he's a little bit dirty here and there, but what I will say is that he provides good hustle and good energy to a team that sometimes really needs that aggressiveness off the bench. I think Orlando will keep him around, though, just to keep little brother Franz happy, especially since he's coming off injury. His brother can help him with rehab and stuff like that. So I think the Magic will end up keeping Mo around. For the Miami Heat, this guy's averaging a career-high 22 points per game and is hitting unrestricted free agency. It's all-star Norman Powell. Perfect time for a guy to hit free agency, too. Just averaging 22 points per game, helping this team trying to make a late-season push. Trying is the key word. They're not really doing that well with it, but yeah, Norman's coming off a season now where he's averaged 22 points per game, a career high, and is now looking for a new contract and unrestricted free agency. Talk about perfect timing. For the Washington Wizards, this one's a little bit tougher. Watkins and Vucevic got long-term deals, longer, at least for one more season. And so Juju Reese is the only option. I mean, if you really want a big man who gets boards, he boards up, gets offensive rebounds, finishes well around the rim sometimes, he hustles, but he does foul a shit ton, and he's probably pretty bad defensively from what I've seen. If you really are signed up and interested in that, Julian Reese is your guy. He can board up. I'm not sure if these rebound records that he's setting really mean anything to me in the grand scheme of things, considering they're losing by like 30 on a nightly basis. But what I will say is that Julian Reese is hustling, and that's something. For the Thunder, none. They don't have any free agents. I'm not joking with you guys. I will go over right now and talk to you about it. For 26-27, they have team options for iHeart and Lou Dort they may pick up. Those are team options, so I can't really put them on this list. I'm not sure if they'll even be a free agent or not. They have a team option for Kenny Hustle, Kenrich Williams. Maybe it's Kenny Hustle, Kenrich Williams. They also have one for Cason Wallace, who I think they'll extend. And then they also have Jared McCain's team option as well. If you really want to get technical, I guess it could be Kenrich Williams, but I'm not sure. And I haven't put restricted free agents on this list at all. I chose not to. I chose not to put any guys with a team option in this list because it's a team option. Nobody knows whether it's going to get picked up or not, and they might get traded even if they do pick it up. Nobody knows. So I chose nobody because there was nobody applicable. For the Denver Nuggets, I chose Peyton Swatson, P. Watt. He needs a new deal this offseason. Of course, both Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown are free agents as well, but I think Peyton Watson is just better. He's shown he can create off the dribble a little bit. He can hit the three, and he's a really damn good defender. That's something you've never been able to doubt with Peyton Watson, is that he's a good defender. He's always been that. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, Ayo Dosunmu hasn't been another one of those key additions, especially off the Chicago Bulls roster, from the trade deadline. Coby White, Ayo Dosunmu, Javon Carter, all these guys have played pretty big impacts for their team down the stretch. Ayo Dosunmu has been no different. He's shooting 42% from three and 14 points per game since joining the Minnesota Timberwolves. The team itself has played a lot better since he's been inserted into the starting lineup, so that definitely doesn't hurt either. Of course, they went on a little skid, but that's also because Anthony Edwards has been hurt, so I can't really put the blame on Ayo Dosunmu. He's still playing really well in that stretch. Ayo should get a bag from somebody. This is a short little edit here, but Ayo's going to get a bag from somebody. Not exactly sure who, but whoever gets him is getting a winner. For the Portland Trailblazers, I put Robert Williams, the Time Lord. When he's healthy, he can still soak up minutes. You know, if you need a third big man that can soak up 15, 20 minutes a game, and you don't have to rely on him to be healthy for 82, you're going to get a good player from Robert Williams. Time Lord is your guy. He can still rebound pretty well. He's still really good at blocking shots. He has hell of a shot timing. You can't take that away. He's had 5 knee surgeries. You still can't take away shot blocking timing. Robert Williams is really good at that. Still finishes well around the rim, and he's adding to that mid-range bag. I see him take mid-ranges here and there. Makes me happy. I miss Time Lord in Boston. This was one of my favorite players when he was healthy. If you need a third big that only needs to play 15 to 20 minutes, spot minutes here and there, there, Time Lord is your guy. The Utah Jazz, I have Walker Kessler, who needs an extension. This one's really weird. Walker Kessler getting an extension, the number is going to be really wild on his extension, considering he played 5 games this year. He got hurt, and he hasn't played again. He played the first 5 games of the year, and then he didn't play again. So I don't know what his contract number is going to come out to, considering he hasn't played. And they have to rely on numbers from 2 seasons ago to stick and get better. I don't know what the contract number is going to come to for Walker Kessler, but I know that the Jazz do need him around. For the Lakers, it's LeBron. I mentioned him at the beginning of the video. Of course, it's LeBron. The old man is going to get a new bag. So no matter where he goes, LeBron's going to get paid. A lot of people are speculating he might take a team-friendly salary, a pay cut, whatever. I will never speculate that about LeBron James. I will never tell another person that they should take a pay cut, especially when they're averaging the numbers LeBron does. I'm not taking a pay cut either, even at 41. Whether he takes a pay cut or whether he gets a full bag, somebody's going to be paying LeBron this season if he even wants to play. We could always address that, the fact that, hey, he might not want to play next season. Nobody really knows what's going on in LeBron's mind. I think only LeBron can tell us what's going on. Phoenix Suns, Colin Gillespie, he stole the starting spot. He's played 57 of 77 games in the starting lineup for the Phoenix Suns. I believe it's now 58. Got to adjust the number. It doesn't really matter either way. He started a good bulk, more than half of the season for the Suns team. Still shooting 40% from 3, super efficient from behind the arc, is a bomber, gets threes up, can get downhill, can get to the rim a little bit, not as much of like an at-rim finisher, more of a shooter type, but Colin Gillespie can help lead the offense a little bit. He's a high assist to low turnover guard. I like that. Colin Gillespie was getting MIP talks this year, most improved player talks, and for good reason. He's a good ball player that just kind of emerged, quote unquote, out of nowhere. But if you watched in college, you always knew this guy had that dog in him. It was more so about finding a situation that could utilize a player with his skill set, that ability to get threes up in volume. And the Phoenix Suns are doing that this year. They're reaping the benefits. Los Angeles Clippers, this one's weird. The franchise wants to get a little bit younger, it seems. They're heading in the rebuild direction, so I'm choosing Benedict Mathurin. Even though his efficiency has been god-awful as a Clipper, he's still averaging 19 points per game around there. He gets to the free throw line really well as well. He's just not making his shots this year. I think he's shooting like the sub 30 from 3 with the Clippers. It's not pretty, the field goal percentage and the 3-point percentage he's putting up, but he's still a tough shot maker when he's on. And with them prioritizing youth and getting younger, why would you trade for a 23-year-old that apparently they really wanted him at midseason? I mean, they traded Zubats for him, right? They accepted that. And then there's no way that they're just going to be like, yeah, we're going to let him walk now. We don't really care like that. I really can't see a world where Ben Mathurin isn't in a Clippers jersey next year. It may not be. They may just say, hey, I know we're getting younger, but we don't really believe in him. If that's the case, that's the case. But up until now, I'm thinking to myself, they didn't trade Zubats for nothing. Speaking of traded for nothing, the Warriors did not trade Jonathan Kuminga for Kristaps Porzingis just to tell KP to kick rocks in the offseason. I think this is a guy that they want to keep with Curry, Butler, and Draymond when they're all healthy next season. So I think they want to re-sign KP. Kristaps Porzingis is the big free agent for the Warriors this offseason. This one's going to be tough, though, because I think that they still have Jimmy's money on books, which is a lot, Curry's money on the books, which is a lot, and Kristaps is going to want a good bit, too. So it's going to be really tough. I'm not sure if the money's going to work out, but like I said, there's no way they traded Jonathan Kuminga for Kristaps Porzingis just to let Porzingis walk. That means you traded Jonathan Kuminga for literally nothing. Just some things that would not make sense in my mind if that happened. If they let Kristaps Porzingis leave, it's a failure on the Warriors front office, but can I be honest with you? A failure with the Warriors front office is very commonplace. This front office has been stumbling in place for a good while now. Sacramento Kings, Precious Achiuwa. Some days there are games where Precious Achiuwa looks like the only one that cares. He looks like the only one that wants to be on the court. Scott Perry said he wants, helpers, not hostages or whatever. He wants volunteers, not hostages. There we go. That's the phrasing Scott Perry uses. Whatever he's cooking up over there, it's dog shit, but Precious Achiuwa is averaging 10 points per game. That's a career high. I'm proud of him. San Antonio Spurs, H. Bizzle, Harrison Barnes, Black Falcon. He can still go, man. The guy's shooting 39% from 3 at 10 points per game. Unk still got it. He can defend a little bit. He's not the most athletic, but I saw him make a nice up and under layup the other day. That was real tough. Harrison Barnes can still go. If you can knock down threes at a 39% clip and be a respectable enough defender, albeit with Victor Wembanyama behind you, and you know how to rotate on defense, I mean, Harrison Barnes is a vet. He's been an NBA champion before. He's also been laughed off the finals in the NBA championship for the Cleveland Cavaliers before. But if you're shooting 39% from 3 and 10 points per game at the ripe old age of whatever the hell Harrison Barnes is at this point, you deserve deserve another look. Harrison Barnes can still go. Unk still got one more year in him, I think. Houston Rockets, it's Tari Eason. It's got to be Tari Eason. It's either he re-signs or it becomes a sign and trade, but either way, he's their biggest name free agent this offseason. I know for a while he couldn't buy a 3. Like, he makes millions already, but he still can't buy a 3. But he's starting to turn it around a little bit. The one thing that's never really wavered is his energy and his defense, though. Whether the 3's going in or not, Tari Eason is playing some tough defense. That's just what he does. That's just who he is. Tari Eason is a good complementary guy around KD, around Şengün. He can help space the floor when he's making his 3s. He just needs to be making his 3s. Dallas Mavericks, I'm thinking it's Brandon Williams. Also, I believe Ryan Nembhard is up there, but I chose Brandon Williams because I like Brandon Williams' scoring ability. He can't really shoot the 3 that well. That's no secret. He's not a shooter, but he gets downhill, he's really fast, and he finishes well at the rim. I mean, this is a guy that shot over 50% from the field before while shooting sub 30 from 3. Brandon Williams is a tough shot maker that I think is a good bench scorer. Like, he gives me Lou Will vibes. He's just kind of not polished yet, you know what I mean? I like Brandon Williams a lot. I think that the Mavericks should look to re-sign him. For the Memphis Grizzlies, this one's a little bit more weird. If you look on Basketball Reference, you would see Javon Small, Jemai Meshack, and Omax Prosper are set to leave, but no, I believe they all have options for next season, so I think all of them will be there, especially Omax Prosper. He's had some really good games for them. But Dariq Whitehead is my pick because I believe he will be hitting free agency after this season. And over the last 3 games, Dariq Whitehead has been pretty good. He's still only, I believe, like 21 years old. I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you this is the face of the franchise point guard that they're not playing here. But hey, when you're a team like the Memphis Grizzlies and you're heading for a rebuild, you need to try guys. Pause. But you need to let guys get on the floor and see what you have. Dariq Whitehead has produced a little bit since he's been in Memphis. And for the New Orleans Pelicans, last but not least, none. They don't have any free agents. Another one just like the Oklahoma City Thunder. I will go to their team and tell you exactly what I'm seeing. What I see on Basketball Reference is DeAndre Jordan is an unrestricted free agent. Okay. Literally okay. I'm sure the team is fine with the 37-year-old big man who plays maybe 5 minutes per year leaving. They have a team option for Kevon Looney for $8 million. I don't know if they're going to pick that up or not, but everyone else is re-signed solid for next year. Zion, Jordan Poole, DeJounte, Trey Murphy, Sadiq Bey even for next year. Derek Queen, obviously, he's a rookie. Yves Missi has a couple more years. Like, unless you really want Trey Alexander or Hunter Dickinson that bad, yeah, the Pelicans don't really have any. That's it for the video. If you enjoyed, you should like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below if there's a more important free agent on your team. Go ahead, just let me know down in the comments. We can have a discussion about it. Like I said, like, subscribe if you are new. Thank you all for joining me. I'm going to catch you game. See you guys in the next one.